Bleedbigblue podcast, dedicated coverage of the New York Football Giants by your hosts, Marco, J Money, Tim, and Captain Negative. Streaming to you live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch.
Good evening, Bleed Big Blue Nation. My name is Marco, your host of the Bleed Big Blue podcast. I'm not alone today. I believe I have Captain Negative on the phone. It should be a fun show tonight, my friend. Do you agree or disagree?
I need to pick me up.
Do you?
I'm tired, man.
Man.
I'm tired, bro.
What happened?
I'm tired. I did that trip. The trip kicked my butt. Dude, like that trip kicked my ass, man. It really did. I've been playing recovery all week. Best night ever. Best night ever.
It looked like it, and I know you two have been holding back stories because a little bit has been leaked out here and there. But we'll definitely.
Dude, there was some nut stuff that went down. Just like we said before last week, we have no clue what to expect, who's going to be there. And man, some funny interactions. Definitely some funny interactions. There was a dance off. It was insane.
Yeah, we will get into that in a little bit until the other guys hop on. To what's up with Tim? I haven't heard from Tim in a little bit. I think he's coming on.
I think Tim is wandering around Atlanta, just wishing he was there last week. Tim is disappointed, or he's at camp. Maybe they have a strict curfew at camp this week.
Maybe he's Maybe he's prepping for camp. Maybe he is.
No. Or he's studying linemen. One or the other.
Yeah, loves them linemen. Loves the linemen. I got a message.
Loves the hog mollies.
Loves the hog mollies. 3 minutes and Justin will make his arrival. He wants to come in with a fanfare, I'm guessing. Dance.
Oh yeah, he's a superstar. Superstar.
Dance-off champion.
Let's put it this way. Justin wore, I believe it was an NFC Championship Giants ring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was a Super Bowl ring. I don't know if the losers get a Super Bowl. Did the losers get a Super Bowl ring? It was from the 2000 team.
No.
That lost to the Ravens. But they don't get a Super Bowl ring, right? So it had to be an NFC Championship ring that he wore. Justin got to wear it. Justin was very popular, very popular. So yeah, he was a star. Justin was a star. Justin was the one who got in the dance off.
Yeah, not the person I would think would get into the dance off.
Not the person who would think would get. Well, I was radar man.
Mm-hmm.
I was all night long picking people out. And Justin will speak to that probably when he comes on. But there was a lot of if I wasn't radar man, if I wasn't on the lookout, we would have missed a ton of chances to speak to people because it was nuts. Like there were people that you saw throughout the night that you didn't see come in, and it was just completely insane.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking like names, dude. I mean, when we go through them, like it's nuts. Like I want Justin to come on because I know I'm gonna forget one that he'll probably remember.
Yeah, you bounce off each other.
But it was insane. The biggest disappointment of the trip was when we got to the NFL experience. When you go in, they give you a list of everyone that's going to be there,
mm-hmm.
right? And Sims was going to be there from 7:30 to I think 9 o'clock. Now the party started at 9,
mm-hmm.
so we, not knowing where we were, and we wanted to make sure we got there on time and we had a chance to change and all this good stuff. So we also got turned around coming out of the stadium, and we got lost for a second. So that cost us a good half hour, 40 minutes, trucking around on foot around the whole stadium. But the NFL. So we get the Sims. We figure he's going to be at the party, right? It's got to be at the party. Sims is coming to the party, right? So we don't go to the interaction with Sims where we definitely would have met him, right? Or at least hoped we would have met him. You figure there's going to be a lot of people there.
Right.
Go to the party. Sims has not come. And then come to find out, Stapleton posts something on Twitter the next day of Sims there. We would have had full access to Phil. There was nobody there. There was like 7 people in line to get his autograph at one point. Like, it was just nobody was there. So that was a little disappointing. We could have met Phil. We didn't meet Phil.
Phil is running for another time, I'm sure.
Yes, he has to be. My heart.
We'll do a little bookkeeping. We are doing pretty well. Hit 16,000 followers on Instagram. Thank you if you follow me on Instagram. We're over 3,000 on YouTube, which is awesome. Love it.
I saw that. And I saw that. That was pretty cool.
I think it's almost 3,300, I think. Then
we got to start posting on the Facebook and the Instagram for them to follow on the YouTube.
Right. The problem is that if you put YouTube's link in Facebook, they lock it down. They don't like that.
Really?
They don't put it out there. Yeah. Like, it's out.
Wow.
Like a normal post, like on Facebook, we're about, I think, less than 25 away to hit 43,000. If I put so
if we
check us out on YouTube, it'll get like 200 people will see it. But like,
if you were to like the YouTube videos that we post that you post on there,
right?
If you were to write, please subscribe to our channel, Facebook would block it.
They won't block it, but they won't release it to everyone.
Oh my God! What's Zuckerberg? You scumbag!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the ultimate. It's the ultimate cock block.
It is. I was just going there. You took the words right out of my mouth. That's the ultimate cock block.
Yeah.
What do they care?
Yeah, well, they want you on.
Wow.
The site.
Well, yeah, that's well, whatever.
So we're hitting these milestones little by little, knocking them out. Up. I see. Mr. Make-A-Wish. Welcome, Justin. Welcome to the Bleedbigblue podcast. How was your week?
I'm here. I'm ready to talk. I will say, I mean, we'll get into the Giants stuff, but I think Jimmy can back me up on this. When we were waiting to leave Atlanta, I've never been so physically exhausted in my entire life. And
that's how I opened the show. I said, I'm tired. I can't recover.
I will say that I think this is a direct quote from Jimmy, but at one point Jimmy was on the phone with his better half, and I think he said this was probably 5 in the morning in Atlanta on Friday morning, and Jimmy was like, Justin looks like he's gonna kill somebody.
All right, to catch everyone up, we were invited to LT's 60th birthday party. And we originally didn't think we were going to go. I actually couldn't go. I'm regretting that to this moment. And Tim also was, locked up with work, and we both couldn't go. So we sent James and we sent Justin down there to represent this beautiful podcast and this site. And actually, a listener was kind enough to help fund that trip. And I believe that's Steven. Right?
Flying Colors, Painting and Roofing.
There's the plug. And
the official roofer of Bleedbigblue.
I was, of course, skeptical. I was like, why would we get invited to LT's birthday party? Like, us out of everyone, we're I guess we're pretty popular on some networks, but not on others. And then obvious people that I thought were going to be invited had no idea, and I was super skeptical. I'm tongue-tied.
Like obvious people, like, can you say a name?
Yeah, Meme Stealer.
Like of someone that you thought would be invited that wasn't?
Yeah, Meme Stealer.
License plate guy.
Yeah, he was not there. We were ready to fight him, by the way.
Why are you fighting him?
I was ready to fight him.
Yeah, there was a couple big things there. So I don't know the backstory.
It was spectacular. It was, and I will say this: there appeared to have been multiple lists. Like when we first checked in at the event, they had 5 different lists of people that had been invited via some channel.
Right.
I think we can say now pretty safely and pretty clearly that we were invited by Lawrence Taylor's daughter.
Correct.
Yes.
Directly, and so we were on her list, which got us VIP status. We were behind the velvet rope.
We
The
were.
captain.
Oh.
So
We were.
where do you want to
We
start
really
the
were.
story, James? I mean,
Go ahead, man. I mean, I'm absolutely. I mean, bro, I was saying that you were a superstar, man. I mean, you wore the NFC Championship ring. You got into the dance off.
yeah. So I'll start by saying this. Jimmy's being humble there, saying that I was the star. I think that we are a great tag team. Like, by the end of the day, we had our routine pretty well down. Let me tell you.
I was radar man.
If there's a better person on the planet at spotting a celebrity or a semi-famous person, I've never met him. James is calling out people with Terminator 2 type execution. Like, I felt like in Jimmy's mind there was that radar lock. He'd lock in on a potential celebrity, and then for those that might want to draw it to an actual connection, if anybody's ever seen the show How I Met Your Mother, when Neil Patrick Harris's character introduces Ted as a wingman, he says, "Have you met my friend Ted?" And so Jimmy would spot these celebrities, and then he would say, "Have you met my friend Mr. Make-A-Wish?"
The whole time?
Once they laid eyes on me, then it was over.
It was absolutely over.
We got 3 to 5 good minutes, and then Jimmy would wrap it up. He'd hand him a card, and they were on their way. We were a well-oiled machine.
Focus.
We were focused. We had a plan. I'll say this as well. So the first place we went to when we were out to Atlanta was the NFL Experience.
Yeah, let's go celebrity by celebrity. Let's go through the night. Let's just see.
Yeah, let's start at the beginning, right? Which is at the NFL Experience, right? So, first of all, by the time that we left the NFL Experience, I had been through 4 pat downs in a 24-hour period because my metal chariot sets off all the metal detectors, and so and on top of that we had Jimmy trying to sneak in cigarettes and lighters everywhere.
Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah.
How many lighters?
I went through 5 lighters.
So at the NFL Experience, so first we went around. So going into the NFL experience, going into the stadium, they had this really cool like outdoor display of large banners with all the Super Bowl rings from the Super Bowl champion. And so we got pictures in front of all 4 Giants rings doing various poses and being goofballs and we made our way in to the NFL experience. So I think the first place we stopped was the NFL shop where they had various bits of memorabilia, and they had, I still don't know who that attractive woman was at the Panini football card stand, but she was a 10, whoever she was.
Yeah,
she was a 12. Peach on a windowsill.
She was a dime and a nickel.
Yeah, she absolutely was. So we left there, and we decided that we were going to pony up for the NFL experience, and it was well worth it. They had various events that you could be a part of. All teams were represented, and there were a lot of things to do. You could participate. I was trying to get Jimmy to participate in combine drills.
Yeah.
He was worried about his physical health for the remainder of the day, so he opted out. We do have.
I declined to participate in the combine.
We do have some great photos of Jimmy. There was a booth sponsored by what was it? Sleep Number.
Yeah, we went to take a picture of the Giants pillow that they had, and the girl jumped over to us and was like, "Hey, I could turn this whole room in here Giants." And I was like, "No way." And we went right in. They had this whole Sleep Number bed and pillow thing set up with like an entire bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And they clicked a couple of buttons on the old computer there, and they turned the whole room into New York Giants. And they even put, there's a picture on the wall that they could put, no matter what team you were a fan of, the jersey would go up on there, and you got to put your name. So we had Captain Negative on the jersey, and then I was laying on the bed doing a very seductive pose.
Laying on the bed in a Bill Sims replica jersey in a sexy come hither pose.
Yes.
Which
so
the crowd
that was fun.
Stoked up.
It did. It was a good time.
And then
we saw OBJ.
Yeah, leaving there, we saw a filming of, what was it, Double Dare?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly.
Kids, the old school Nickelodeon game show.
Right.
Who was it? It was Odell.
It was Odell, DeAndre Hopkins, Russell Wilson, and McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey. And they were all participating in the in Double Dare with the kids that were there. It was pretty cool.
And so we got up to the front row of viewership for that because of the steel chariot, and we were calling out to Odell. There's no doubt that he heard us, but he did not respond. Did not respond. We were loud enough and close enough that and we weren't saying. I mean, I think at one point, Jimmy
I
might
definitely
have
said we should have signed you. I know I said
that.
that.
Was after he had already clearly ignored us.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
But he heard it, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, I mean, he was within earshot. He's aware of who we are. So that was great. Then we decided
we were going to leave.
We decided to leave.
And then, Eureka, we snuck in.
Yeah. We snuck. Somehow we ended up on an elevator. We thought we knew we had to go up, because we went down to get where we had been. So we knew we had to go up on the elevator. So we found this random elevator that was near where we thought we had entered, and we hit the up button to go up a floor. And we come off the elevator, and we're smack dab in the middle of Radio Row. And we're clearly, like, not authorized to be there.
Not at all.
Okay.
So we just decided to roll with it, because what are they going to do? And
So we encountered, our first encounter was the Mad Dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're walking through, and the Mad Dog, the Mad Dog, the Sirius booth was up, and Mad Dog was doing his show, and it looked like they were between takes. He was getting ready, and I hit him with the Mad Dog. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? And he gave us the thumbs up, Justin.
He gave us the finger guns, which I thought.
That's right.
He gave us the double finger gun, which I thought was total Mad Dog. It was everything that I wanted from the dog.
That's right.
Like, it was just the perfect response for what I would imagine the dog would do if someone recognized him and he just sort of wanted to fly under the radar a little bit. So that was wonderful. And so then we're, like, amped up, right? Because we're like, well, this is Radio Row. This is awesome, right?
And
So we
you're
decided to do a few laps, right?
We did
We were
do
like, this is only, you're only in here once. So we bumped into fantasy football MVP Adam Thielen. We tried to get him to talk to us, but he was being whisked away by someone who wanted him to go do something for, I think it was one of the Madden booths I saw him step into. They had a Madden booth there where, without a doubt, there were players that were going in and out of that, I'm sure, and programming things for Madden using their likeness. So that was pretty cool to know that was there and that they were probably making next year's Madden at Radio Row. And then we saw, the next time we were circling around, we saw Jim Fossil. And our Jimmy, exclaimed out to Coach Fossil. Coach Fossil saw the Phil Simms jersey and was wrapping up his interview and had his, I don't know if it was his handler or his, his press person escort him out to talk with us. We told him who we were. We gave him a card. He said that he would definitely be in touch with us, parenthetically. So be on the lookout, Marco, if he reaches out to you. But we saw that he was wearing a ring. It was a gold ring with a giant blue stone on it and the NY across the middle. He said it was a Super Bowl ring. Now, I don't know if it was like a ring that he got from coming in second at Super Bowl 35, or if it was like a special ring that they gave to assistant coaches, if he was an assistant coach on one of the teams in the 80s. But in any case, we had already taken a photo of all the other rings that we could find there. So we told him what we were doing, and we asked him if he would mind if we took a photo of his ring. And he said, I'll do you one better. And he takes his ring off, and he looks directly at me, and he gives it to me, and he wants me to put it on my hand. So I tried to put it on my ring finger, but Jim Fossil's hand is smaller than mine. Yeah, that's right. And the ring didn't fit, so it had to go on my pinky. And then we did a double fist shot, and I'm wearing Jim Fossil's Super Bowl ring, looking badass. So that was pretty good. We were on a natural high from that. So as we continued to roll around, who else did we see there? We saw Kiki, who we had heard, James, that he had just finished it, interviewing Saquon Barkley. I think we missed Saquon Barkley maybe by about 20 minutes.
Tiki.
And then we saw Francesa.
Oh, God.
Who looked like he was in great midday form. Just breathing heavily into the mic.
Mm-hmm. Awake, alert, and ready to go.
Drinking a lot of Diet Coke.
Can you lead me up to when you first got to the hotel? The whole checking in and not checking into the actual hotel, but the whole assuring that the party was actually happening.
So is Jimmy still with us, or did he go away?
Did he go away? I'm not sure. I think he might have went to the bathroom.
He may have gone away. So we decided when we left that we wanted to get to the hotel super early. And if you want to hear about, this is more of an off-air story, but if you want to hear about our exit from the stadium, I'll just say it took us about twice as long to leave the stadium than to enter it. And so by the time we got back to our rent-a-car, which was across the street from the stadium...
I got us there, Justin. I got us there.
Yeah, but Magellan over here, he's a force to be reckoned with. Don't kid yourself. Between Magellan and we met a nice couple from
Boston,
New England that saved our life. We were going through some questionable parts of Atlanta, I guess is the way that I would put it. Which were somehow surrounding the stadium. That was the other thing that was amazing. Like, this stadium is state-of-the-art, billions of dollars, right? And it's smack dab in the middle of a rather destitute part of town. But by the time we made it out of there, we wanted to stop someplace to eat, but we also didn't want to be super late. We wanted to make sure that we gave ourselves plenty of time. So we just went straight from the stadium over to the hotel, and the W Hotel was massive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Jimmy went in first just to sort of get the lay of the land.
I went in, I jumped out of the car. I said, we're going to park here in front for a second. We're not going to valet park. We're going to park here in front for a second. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to see what's what. And I walked in and I went right to the front desk and I looked around to make sure nobody was around me. And I sort of in hushed whispers and said, hello, we're here for the surprise Lawrence Taylor party. And we're not spending the night. We were just wondering, is there like a bathroom or anything where, I told them the situation with Justin and the chariot. And they said, right this way, sir, no problem. Let me show you where you guys could wash up and feel free to hang out in our lobby. And I was like, oh my God, where's Ashton Kutcher? We're still being punked, right? So he walks me around like this long hallway, and he goes, this is the bathroom. And there's a couple of seats in there. You can feel free to make yourselves at home. Feel free to come out to the lounge in the bar. Or there is where the party's going to be. And he shows me this area. And I said, okay. So I went walking down those stairs just to double confirm. And there was a bunch of people that were getting, ready for the party and setting up the room and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I walked in and I said, I just want to make sure that we have access to be able to get down here because I see the stairs. Is there a way to accommodate in reference, with the wheelchair? Can we get down here? And we're here for LT's party and blah, blah. Oh, no problem, sir. This is, you're definitely in the right place. when you guys come in, we'll get you checked in, but we'll bring you around through our other elevator. Our one elevator is down, but we'll make sure we have somebody to walk you around, take you out, get you in, and get you out. It won't be a problem. And I was like, oh, my God. So
This is really happening.
yeah. I mean, at that point, I came out. I got in the car with Justin. I think he was on the phone with his wife, and I said, "Hey, man," I said, "I just confirmed. This is it. We're in the right place. Now it's just a matter of are we on the list?"
Right. So then, we left the car with the valet, and we headed in shortly thereafter. And then I went into the bathroom there and got changed, and I was still sort of getting my bearings because when I say it's a nice hotel, that's an understatement. This is like a hotel of hotels, and so the bathroom had its own entryway, it had its own.
You walk through a door, and then there's this really nice, little room with two nice-sized chairs that you could sit in with a bunch of mirrors, a really nice area. And then, the women's room was ahead, and then the men's room was off to the right. It was like a doorway to the bathroom.
It was like a place where you could go rest. There was a moment where I was like, do we come back here after the party and just try to sleep on the floor here? Nobody would bother us.
Turns out there was a fashion shoot in that bathroom later on, and we couldn't do that.
Yeah. Got changed, got set, and so the initial pre-party for all of the LT people was up at the bar there on the first floor.
Mm-hmm.
They had a DJ up there at the bar that was playing warm-up music. She was rather good looking. James made sure to make sure that I had observed her.
Yes.
She was looking like she was a primetime player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I ordered my one and only drink for the evening. I had a Stella Artois.
Look at you.
With my bill, they gave us a book to sign, a guest book to sign.
That's right. I forgot about that.
To say who we were, and how much we loved him. Everybody could leave a little sentiment. So,
did you take a picture of that?
Individually.
No, we didn't get a picture of it, but we definitely signed it. I signed it Captain Negative for Bleedbigblue.
Yeah, and I signed it myself. We put our signatures next to each other. It was one of those things where, I'll be honest with you, I thought about getting a picture of that,
mm-hmm.
but then...
Oh, you didn't want to take anyone else's pictures? Yeah, right.
Was, wearing a tux and, gave it to us very, very stealthily. And so I didn't want to be, caught taking a photo of the...
Yeah.
Yeah. Taking a photo of the guest book when, I wasn't supposed to. So we signed the guest book, and we headed down. Party was, supposed to start 9 o'clock? I think we headed down 8:45 because we wanted to be there in plenty of time for the red carpet, supposedly. So it was interesting because they had people, so they were checking to make sure that you were on the list if you were on one of the lists.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another entrance where I guess it was open to the general public, but you had to make a donation on the spot to the charity.
Really?
So those people were in front of the velvet rope, and the VIPs that included James and myself were behind the velvet rope. And I think we were probably one of the first people in, which in most cases, you know, you want to be fashionably late to a party. But I really think it was to our benefit that we were there so early because we were able to post up and get a pretty good spot to meet a lot of the famous people as they filtered through.
And they did filter.
We, in the VIP section, there was also a special section that was like an indoor canopy with some white couches underneath it, and that was where like LT's direct family and like his agent and everybody would hang out. So we had the idea, we wanted to post up as close to that as we possibly could without like
being in there,
space.
right?
Because we thought that that's where everybody would naturally be gravitating to try and catch a glimpse of the man of the hour. So when we were first there, LT's son was in there, and we thought he was Landon Collins.
For a second, yeah, we did.
He was wearing, LT's son was wearing like chrome shaded sunglasses.
That shit was hot.
In the middle of this dark room with like neon green and pink lights flashing. He was wearing a gold, like it looked like a smoking jacket.
Yeah, that shit was banging.
He was dressed to the nines with a purpose. And it wasn't until he took his sunglasses off that you could tell that he was LT's son. I mean, he's the spitting image.
Yeah, pretty much.
In the face. And so we realized that was LT's family. And I think Jimmy got some one-on-one time with LT's daughter. I didn't get a chance to talk to her one-on-one.
The first person we saw there was when we were about to check in, and it was Keith Elias. And Keith Elias was there by himself. Keith Elias was there by himself, and he was on LT's list of former players, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point, you know, it was like us and Keith Elias hanging out.
There were like three people in the party. It was us and Keith Elias.
Yeah, for a couple of seconds. So that was the first guy that we bumped into. It was Elias.
Yeah.
Then we're hanging out and we're trying to get the lay of the land and pick a good posting spot. And all of a sudden, people are starting to come in, and all of a sudden, I see his family, and they close all the other doors except for one. And they're ushering people in, and people are taking their cameras out, and it looks like they're waiting for somebody to come through the door, and I'm figuring it's got to be him, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I turned to Justin because my phone by that point was dead, and I'm like, give me your phone. And he had the stream going through Facebook and all that stuff. Everything was through his phone. So I grabbed his phone, and I went running up to get as close as I can. Well, I was literally right behind LT's daughter, his son. I believe it was a couple of nieces that were there. I was able to thank her for inviting us, introduce myself, and she was absolutely amazing, man. She knew exactly who we were. She asked if they accommodated with the wheelchair. She apologized for not getting in contact with us sooner after we RSVP'd to confirm. She was amazing. Yeah, I mean, just unbelievable. Thanked us for coming, like, so nice. And I said, is he coming in? And she goes, yeah, he'll be here in 2 minutes. They're parking the car. So I'm like, oh, my God, like, this is really happening. The whole time, I mean, you saw it, dude. I was filming the whole time. And then a couple of the nieces or cousins, whoever they were in front of me, I asked him, I said, does he have any clue? And they looked at me and they said, he has no clue this is going on. He is clueless. He has no clue we're doing this for him. And then the doors are closed, opens up, and, you know, you can tell, I think if you watch the video on Bleedbigblue on Facebook, it was around the 12-and-a-half minute mark. LT come through the door, and it was funny because I don't know if you could see his face clearly on the video, but the minute you see his face, you knew what it was like to be a quarterback in the 80s and be terrified when LT was looking at you, because let me tell you something, he was pissed. And a couple of his nieces were like, "Oh my God, he's so angry! Oh my God, he's so angry!" And it looked like he was upset that they threw a surprise party for him until he saw his mom. And his mom walked over with her arms up in the air, and it looked like he just melted when he hugged his mom and just accepted the fact that it was his family and they were doing this nice thing for him. And his family started singing "Happy Birthday," and it was just, it was just a whirlwind of events from there on out, right, Justin?
Absolutely. At that point, shortly thereafter, the DJ kicked it into high gear. He was a local DJ from, like, the Atlanta hip-hop station, and he played 80s and 90s hip-hop and R&B for 4 straight hours. There was no, like, slow songs where you could dance with your boo. It was just hit after hit from the 80s and 90s, and they threw in...
Captain Negative was getting it.
They threw in 50 Cent's "Happy Birthday" a few times, and then so the party was underway, right? So now people start showing up.
I think the first guy we really saw, wasn't it Eric Dickerson?
No, before that we saw John Randall.
That's right, John Randall. Looks like he could still play.
John Randall, in a suit and sneakers, looked like a mean cuss that could still line up and destroy people.
And I think what happened was I think I saw him and was like, I think John Randall's here. And then we bumped into him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because the place was still sort of filling up. So if you were meandering strategically, like, you could make sure that you accidentally bumped into people. You know what I mean? By later in the evening, you kind of had to pick your spot and just wait for people to pass through. But that was still early enough in the evening where you could move around a little bit.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
So John Randall, really nice guy. Really nice guy, right, Justin?
Absolutely. Took some time with us, and was a really nice guy. We saw the next guy was probably Eric Dickerson, who is only a year younger than Lawrence Taylor. He's 59, but he just floated through the room like a gazelle. He was dressed all in black, and he looked like a freaking gazelle. Just, very light on his feet. You could tell he was very agile and nimble. Again, another guy looks like he could suit up and have a better season than Todd Gurley did.
Who was the biggest surprise of the night besides LT, obviously?
I'll give you my biggest surprise, right? So we encountered, oh my God, this is tough. I got 2.
There's an NFL surprise, and then there's a celebrity surprise.
There you go.
Okay.
You go. I'll give you my celebrity. Yeah. You want me to give him the celebrity surprise?
Yeah, let's go with the celebrity surprise because that's the way.
It might even be a different one because there were 2 celebrity surprises, and I'll give you mine, right? And then maybe Justin give yours. The other guy was great too. Whoever I don't take, right? But I saw some guy, Marco, throughout the course of the night. There was a gentleman that was dancing, right? Mm-hmm. Just like, dude, this guy was having a blast.
Right.
He was having a good time. And you noticed him, like, across the room, but, like, you couldn't tell. It was dark, right? You don't know who the hell is who.
Right, you got the lights going.
So I see him. Yeah. I see him once, and I take notice, and he's dancing like get it. So he's spinning around and shit. So it's like you can't really see his face. You just take notice. It's the dancing guy. So I see the dancing guy once, and I'm like, oh, get it, buddy. That guy's getting it, right? I'm feeling it. Then I lose him. No big deal. Don't know who he is. Then I during the course of the night, we were standing next to Ed Reed, who was literally shoulder to shoulder with me for around, 15 minutes.
And we had no idea. We thought it was Dhani Jones, but it was Ed Reed. We came to find out the next day.
Ed Reed was just chilling. So I turned and I looked, and here's this guy at the bar again. And the guy at the bar is Marco, dance it, get it, just get it, waiting for his drink.
Mm-hmm.
Now he has his drink, this guy, and he comes. He must have come walking to my left, and now he decides to cross right in front of our face for the first time during the night, and we get a clear look at this guy's face. And I recognized him immediately the minute I got a clear view of him. And I turned to Justin and I go, that's Kid from Kid and Play. And Justin goes, no. And I turned and I looked, and by the time I turned and looked, he had passed me and was now right in front of Justin. So I go, Kid.
And there was the other part.
And he turns and he's face to face with Justin. And the dance-off begins.
And let me just say, first of all, he's wearing jeans and a t-shirt, and he's smoking a vape pen.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks like he's simultaneously like stoned out of his gourd, right?
He's having a good time.
Right? There's a guy next to me that I don't know, but he's very clearly had a few to drink, and he's trying to dance, and it's not going quite as well. And so Kid was initially responding to him, but when we recognized him and called him out by name, he turned, and now he's looking right at me. And this song is playing, and he gives me a little shoulder shimmy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the shoulder shimmy is my move. I don't have my dance repertoire starts with the shoulder shimmy because, that's where I make most of my money. So I figure he's shoulder shimmying at me, I'm going to give it to him right back. So I give him a little, I take about 10 seconds of the beat, and I give it back to him a little bit, and he kind of raises his eyebrows at me and gives me a little half smile, and he comes at me for round two. At which point, I respond in kind with round two of my own.
Right.
And after my round, he kind of gave me a wink and, took a big, long, slow drag on his vape pen.
Go without.
Threw it in my general direction and walked away. So my thought is, tell me how to do this. I think that I won the dance-off with Kid from Kid and Play. If you're gonna blow smoke in my face and walk away, that means that I outdid you.
Now,
Absolutely phenomenal.
I just put a picture up of Kid.
There's no other way to take that information.
Yeah. Now, Kid does not still have the high top afro, correct? That is, I believe, is long.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No. Yeah, it's not present.
Because that is a difficult look to keep for an extended period of time. But
yeah, I mean,
Justin, what was the other celebrity, Justin, that was pretty cool?
I mean, the other celebrity that was present was Chris Tucker, Smokey.
Chris Tucker, right?
He was there with Curtis Martin of the Jets and Patriots fame.
Mm-hmm.
and he was great. He was everything that you would think that he would be. You know, his comedic delivery when he was talking to you was very similar to what you would see in the movies. And when he came to talk to me, I told him that I loved his work in the You Rock My World music video with Michael Jackson. At which point he laughed for about 15 seconds and said, "Thank you. Nobody talks to me about that." So, but I enjoyed that, and it was amazing. So I thank you very much.
When I first saw him, I don't think he liked me very much, because when I first saw him, I literally turned, I was in shock, and I screamed, "Smokey!" And if you've ever seen Friday, I mean, come on, Smokey! I mean, I was like, what? Chris Tucker? So, yeah, good time. Yeah, what is going on?
And, like, people like that, like both Kid and Chris Tucker, then your immediate thought is, okay, what's the connection there? Like, did Kid from Kid and Play and Lawrence Taylor hang out back in the day when they were both in their prime?
Who knows, right? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, Chris Tucker was there with Curtis Martin. Who would think that they were like inseparable. Like, they were chilling. Like, who would think that Chris Tucker's hanging out with Curtis Martin?
Yeah, absolutely great.
You know, and so then there was a couple of Giant interactions that were pretty funny. So we're standing there, and this guy comes walking by, and I recognized him immediately. Justin, to me, he doesn't look a day over. Like, he looks like he did when he was playing. I'm like, Mark Collins? And he turns to me and he goes, "Man, nobody ever recognizes me." And I literally turned to him. I was like, "Man, I fucking recognize you. You're a legend. You're Mark Collins." And we started talking to Mark Collins a little bit. Harry Carson was there. I mean, we got to shake Harry Carson's hand. I know he spoke to Justin for a little while. So, I mean, and then we're talking to Brandon Jacobs. We meet Brandon Jacobs. We take a picture with Brandon Jacobs. We're hanging out in his general area. And all of a sudden, I turn around, and Jim Brown comes walking through the door. And, I mean, there you have it, folks. I mean, we saw Mean Joe Green. We saw Thurman Thomas. I mean, we shook Lawrence Taylor's hand. Jim Brown comes walking through the door. I mean, just insane.
When Jim Brown entered the room, it was probably 11:30.
Yeah.
And Jimmy and I had been up with no sleep since about 4 a.m.
4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
So we were exhausted, right? So 11:30, it started to slow down a little bit, and I think we actually sort of exited the ballroom to go into the red carpet section just to see if anybody else was coming through, because we were thinking about potentially getting ready to leave. And when I saw Jim Brown come through, it was like 11:30, and he comes down, and he's like using his cane, and he's making an entrance, a fashionably late entrance to this party at 11:30. I looked at Jimmy and I said, "We need to man up. We at least have another hour."
That's right.
So we went back in, and I think the interesting part about Jim Brown, just within that party, was the people there, specifically the NFL people, treated him with such reverence. As soon as he entered the room, the entire place got super quiet. You could hear a pin drop, and they let him go up to the front of the room at that point where LT was, and they just kind of held court together. And it was a pretty cool moment to see all these people that, you you hold in high regard and you
Right.
view as great football players, and they were just very clearly paying deference to someone who they acknowledged as the best amongst them all. It was pretty neat.
Unbelievable night, man. Unbelievable night.
It's great.
I will
Great.
say, when we saw Jim Brown, so that was another scenario where I had given Jimmy my phone to try to get as close to Jim Brown as possible to get a good photo. And,
I was paparazzi.
And there was a woman who was out there with us. She was very clearly like Eastern European, and English was not her first language, but she was a model type.
Mm-hmm.
She had a gentleman escort who was wearing a suit over a T-shirt with her face on it.
Okay.
And so he recognized Jim Brown, and he went up there with Jimmy, leaving me with this Eastern European model. And she turns to me, and she said to me straight face, she goes, "Who's Jim Brown?"
Well, did you have a quick retort?
And then, when I told her, I was like, he's the greatest running back of all time. And
she said, "What's a running back?"
Well, no, she didn't say what's a running back. She said, "So who did he play for?" And I said, "He played for the Browns." And she looks at me and she goes, "So Jim Brown played for the Browns and he is Brown?"
No.
And I said, "Yep, you got it. That's about right." And so then by that time,
No,
Jim
that
Brown
did
had
not
come
happen.
down the stairs, and so we were greeting him.
Oh my God.
And she greets him with my information. She goes, "Oh, you're Jim Brown. You played for the Browns in the late 50s and 60s." And I was just like, she stole all my information. She had no idea who he was. And she used the information that I had shared with her to meet Jim Brown.
Well, at least she didn't use all the
No.
information that she gathered that night.
It's
Gentlemen, what do you think the next event is going to be?
I'll tell you something, Marco. When the night ended, right? So we decide we're going to leave, right? There was one more hilarious thing that happens, right? So we go back to the bathroom from which we came that has the seats in it and all that stuff, right? And Justin goes in the bathroom to get changed and stuff before we're going to hit the road. So I'm just chilling, exhausted, sitting in the really nice chairs. And all of a sudden, these three girls come out and of the ladies' room. And they proceed to start having a fashion show photo op amongst this beautiful, in this beautiful room that we're in. Now, I'm sitting in one of the chairs. So now there's one girl taking the picture, and then there's on the right next to me, there's another chair, and then a space like next to the wall, and one's on the chair, and one's in that space next to the wall. And of course, they're not putting me in the picture, but there's a full-fledged fashion show going on right now. So the one girl who was in the chair gets upset that she wasn't getting the attention that the other girl was getting, who was doing the really nice poses up against the wall. So she gets up and proceeds to go, "I'm going to need you to take some pictures." So I said, "Yeah, no problem." So she gives me the camera, right? And now I turn into Austin Powers. I'm like, groovy, baby. Like, okay, yeah, behave. Turn around. Show me you love me. Boom. Give me the pose. Show me you're sexy. I'm like, dude, there was a complete at one point I had both cameras and all three girls posing on the two chairs up against the wall. There were people trying to come into the bathroom. Marco, I was ushering them in. I was going, "Come on, there's a photo shoot going on here. Move it, move it, move it."
At one point, so after I had gotten changed and we came back out. I came back out into that entrance to the bathroom, and I see this happening, and I'm trying to get my bearings, and I'm like, I'm not surprised. Like, this should be surprising to me, but it's not, because this is believable. Jimmy's hosting a fashion shoot in the guest entryway to the restroom with 3 women that we've never met before.
And they love me. They love Justin. Did they not love me?
All right, gentlemen, let's segue and save some stories for when Tim makes his triumphant return. Makes his triumphant return next week.
Well, I do want to say one other thing in reference to the LT party, just quickly.
Mm-hmm.
We did so. In addition to meeting LT, which when he came through, I had a chance to shake his hand. He actually hugged me because it was so loud that was the only way that he could hear what I had to say to him.
Mm-hmm.
I told him that he was a freaking legend, and that we loved him at Bleedbigblue. And he patted me on the shoulder and said, "Thank you. We enjoy what you do." So he's aware of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting for all the fans out there. You listen to the podcast. LT, at minimum, I would say, probably follows the site, or his family follows the site, and makes him aware of
what's going on,
what we do on.
And I got news for you, man. I really want to do something. I'm willing to throw some money in. I'm sure if I reached out to some people that they would contribute. I really want to do something amongst the followers that we have between Instagram and Facebook. Mm-hmm. I bet if we put our best foot forward, we can really do something nice for that family and put it towards the foundation and come up with a donation and just say it's from us and our followers at Bleedbigblue, for all the memories that you gave us. Like, here's a little something for your foundation, and that foundation's doing a lot of good by a lot of people. If you look into it, the Lawrence Taylor Family Foundation, and there is a PayPal where you can contribute directly over that site.
Correct.
Or that website. But I really want to try to do something to try to use our whatever popularity we have to see what we can do to contribute to a good cause, because they were nice enough to do that for us.
Definitely.
I think we should really do something cool.
I've been talking to the family, and we're getting something coordinated, so it's coming. We'll get something going.
Love it.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, I love it.
So let's talk about. Let's segue.
I'm so appreciative.
Oh no, yeah, me too, man. It's an unbelievable opportunity.
Unreal.
Let's do a little segue into current Giant.
Nick Foles.
Congratulations on not tarnishing the name. No real hijinks going on, but let's. What do you want to start with, Jonathan Stewart first, or?
No, thank God. Thank God. That's all I'm going to say about that. I was against that from day one. I was a little nervous that they weren't going to do it. I was wondering what the hell was taking so long. But thank God, man. Good riddance. Bye-bye. Who's next?
Saving a little over $2 million on the cap on that one. Oh, we have a dude on hold who's been on hold for a little bit. It's always a risk when you go to the lines without pre-screening them. Ready? 806, are you there?
Hi, yeah, I'm here.
You are there. What's your name? Where are you calling?
Hi, yeah, this is Steve from Providence, Rhode Island.
What's up, Steve?
What's up, Steve?
Hi, how are you guys doing? It was cool listening to your story about the LT party. I'm very envious of you. I wish I could have been there. That sounds like it was
Steve,
an awesome time.
I'm envious of that. I wasn't even there. Steve, what do you want to talk about?
Say a couple of things.
Sure.
So I live up in here in New England, obviously, and I got to tell you, there was nothing worse than watching them win another title. I mean, worst fan base in the league by a mile. I work in Boston too, right next to where the parade ended, and I wanted to jump off the roof on Tuesday. And another one thing about the Super Bowl, just in general, and I know, and it's about Eli. I know that I've been very critical of him. You guys have been critical of him, deservedly so. And I do think it's time for the Giants to move on from him. But one thing you can never say about Eli is that the moment was never too big for him. And I know that if he was the Rams quarterback on Sunday, they're walking away with the title. And, Jared Goff, have you ever seen anybody look more shell-shocked playing a Super Bowl than he did?
Derek Collins.
That's what I was going to say. I got one in mind.
Sorry, you set me right up for that one. Hook, line, and sinker there.
Wait.
There's been some bad performances in the Super Bowl. I get your point on Goff, but I'm gonna be honest with you, right? A lot of Giant fans hate the Patriots, and I don't get it. Like I hate the Eagles and the Cowboys and the Redskins, and I have a serious dislike for every other NFC team. I really don't give a shit about the AFC until it's time to play them when it matters.
Yeah.
You don't live here.
And we beat them twice in the most important game there is. When they were undefeated, we beat them twice. Like, I don't understand. And here's the other thing. I don't understand what the Giants fans' insecurities are about the Patriots. Like, we beat them, and Belichick's are – like, I was cheering for them because I'm a Belichick guy. Like, I'm going to cheer for Belichick before I cheer for Jared Goff. Like, I don't know. I don't have a hang-up on it because of Belichick. I watched – and the other, we've had Gary Reasons on the show. We've had Pepper Johnson on the show, Myron Guyton on the show, and they've all said and praised Belichick and how good he is at what he does, and how if it wasn't for him in Super Bowl 25 that they probably don't beat Buffalo, and that holds weight with me. I know how he feels about the Giant organization, so I don't have a problem with it. Tip of the cap, Belichick. Like, it's a Parcells tree guy. Like, it's amazing to me. It's amazing to me that the Giant fans hate Belichick so much in the Patriots, and there's still such a fondness for Parcells, and I still have the fondness for Parcells too. Don't get me wrong, but Parcells coached the Jets and the Cowboys
and the Patriots.
And the Patriots. Right? So I don't have a problem with it, man. I think it's what Brady people hate.
I think it's because he's so local to them that it has to drive him crazy.
It's the fan base.
Well, he probably just makes it sick.
I mean, did you see the brawl video that I think it was it Barstool?
I did.
The Patriots after winning the Super Bowl, like it was probably like maybe 10, 12 Patriot fans all beating the shit out of each other. Like, what the?
Yeah, I did see that. That's pretty funny.
Well, here's the thing too.
Just
about
stupidity.
That game on Sunday. All due respect to Tom Brady, I wish that we were in a scenario where we could say that our quarterback was winning his 6th Super Bowl. However, if you look at that game from Sunday,
it's all Belichick.
Minus the throw to Gronk down the seam, I mean, Brady didn't play that much better than Goff, right? So, I mean, he gets credit for winning the game because he made throws when it counted or whatever. But
that's Belichick. Yeah, man.
Brady was put in that position because of Belichick, and you could put 10 other quarterbacks in the league right now on that Patriots team on that day, and they would have found a way to win that game. So I understand.
100% agreed. Yeah.
I understand everybody is super high on Tom Brady, as they should be for the career accomplishment, but let's not let's not kid ourselves and say that Sunday was by any means a quarterbacking masterpiece on either side.
No, not at all. That was all Belichick, and I don't understand. Like, supposedly Gurley was fine, right? Like, what? How the hell? If Gurley's fine, like, if Gurley's fine, they failed, man. Like, he should have had the ball 20+ times that game. I don't understand what the hell these guys are doing sometimes. Like, C.J. Anderson did his job when you needed him to, but if Gurley's healthy, then the only time he comes off the field is when he can't breathe or he's calling for a sub, right? I mean, what the hell's going on? There's one game to play.
Well, what's crazy about that too is, so say by some stretch of the imagination he wasn't healthy, right? Let's just say, and I don't know anything per se, but let's just say he had a slightly torn meniscus, right? If that's not on the injury report, and Todd Gurley has surgery in a few weeks, say he has an arthroscopic procedure, we're
There's some
probably
issues?
not going to find out about it, because then it comes in that they're hiding things on the injury report. So I don't think we're ever going to fully and truly know what the extent of that situation was, but I have to believe something's not right. And I'm just praying that it's something that is fixable, and that
How? But he was like, how don't they? But they can even like Justin. But can't they have him marked as? Is there? There's not even a probable anymore, right? It's like questionable.
Right.
Like, he wasn't even questionable.
He wasn't on the injury report, and that's what the problem is. Like, if he had been questionable, then at least they could come back and say, now, yeah, the problem was a little bit more intense than maybe we had let on. But
If he's not on the injury report, yeah, then what the hell are you doing? Something's not right there.
Yeah. And I'm nervous because I have a chance to take him in a keeper league. And I have the first overall pick. And, Gurley's going to be available.
I have picks 1 and 6 in my draft next year.
So
from a trade that I made.
So the next biggest news out of Giants land is that the Eagles, they agreed that if they let Nick Foles go, that the Giants are going to pick him up. So they are going to potentially franchise him at, I believe it's over $20 million, and have 2 quarterbacks.
Just so they can trade him to somebody not Giants or Washington.
Exactly. Just to trade him to a non-rival. In hopes that someone will trade.
I think that's a smart move. I mean, I think Washington's more in play than the Giants are. But I think you could potentially get, Jacksonville and Miami are 2 teams that you would think would be interested. And, we've gone over this, right? Like, if you're not sold on Haskins and you're going to turn the page from Eli and you need a bridge, Foles is the guy I would want to be the bridge. I'd want Foles to be the 2 or 3 year guy until we find another guy, until we're in position to make a move in 2020 or 2021 to make a move for a guy we want. Not the way I want to go, though. Mm-hmm. Not the way I want to go. You can sell me on it for a short-term fix, but I wouldn't go that way. And I'm praying Gettleman doesn't want to go that way. What I'm praying is that they're able to trade them to. I'm hoping for Jacksonville because I think it's more difficult for the Dolphins to jump in front of us than it is for Jacksonville to jump in front of us. So what I'm hoping is that they tag them, and then that Jacksonville is the team that makes a move, and it takes them out of quarterback contention and puts the Giants in play if they like Haskins. The question for the Giants is, how much do you like Haskins? I saw today that somebody said they're picking a quarterback in the first 2 rounds. Well, that means if they don't like Haskins, they're sold on one of those other guys. Yikes.
So my question is, can't you play hardball with the Eagles? If they tag him, can't you be like, I don't know why you tagged him. We're not going to trade. We don't want to give up any assets. We're going for a young quarterback in the draft. Can't they?
Well, I think the Eagles think that. I think that they're not only worried about the Giants. I think they're worried about the Redskins too. Mm-hmm. So if you franchise him, you control him, and you can pick the place that he plays. You eliminate the Giants. I don't even think they would deal with the Giants or the Redskins in terms of a trade. I think there'll be enough bidders for Foles that they can very easily franchise to move him. Now the question becomes this: what tag do you use? Because I believe there's different tags you can use, and if you use the top franchise tag, then isn't it 2 first-round picks to acquire him? And if it's 2 first-round picks, now the question becomes: is Jacksonville or Miami willing to give up those picks to get him?
That's my exact thing. Why would someone do a deal if they were going to have to give up a certain amount of picks? When they would just rather.
Because if that's the only way you can get him, if he's not going to be a free agent and you like him that much, then,
Also came out today was that
the other thing in reference to that tag that I'm not sure on is if when you put that tag on, if the trade automatically becomes 2-1s. I believe that there's some version of the tag out there where even if you put the tag on with a certain level.
Yeah, it's like a transition tag or something shit like that, where you could put a certain value on it, like a second rounder or something, right?
Negotiate any trade that you want. So if the tag is still 2-1s, you could negotiate with the team of your choice and say, well, maybe it's not 2-1s, maybe it's a 1 and a 2, or maybe it's a 1 and 2 the following year.
I wasn't sure about that. Okay, cool.
I think.
They're not locked in. They're not locked into what that they can say that's my asking price, but they can come off it and still move them.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Also reported today was that. Today was that 2 teams out of the top 10 are so sold on Haskins. Now you just got that they're willing to trade up to get him. Now you just have to figure.
Jacksonville, Miami.
Now you just have to figure out one of the 2.
Jacksonville, Miami. Isn't Miami at 10?
Jacksonville and Miami. Because now Miami is in play, correct?
Yeah. I think Miami's in play. And they just hired the quarterback coach, I believe, from the Patriots. He brought him over. So they got their offensive coordinator in place now. But I believe Jacksonville picks 7th, and if I'm correct, Miami picks 10th, maybe?
I'm trying to look it up. No, 13.
Okay. So who's in the top 10?
2019. I'm looking it up right now.
I think, you have to be aware of teams outside of the top 10.
Yeah.
Trading up. Yeah, of course.
Coming in and making a trade. Because
if you're trading for the quarterback, you don't need to get to 1. You need to get to 5.
Call me
all right.
Crazy. But I'm not so much. The more that I'm thinking about this, I'm not so much worried about Jacksonville, right? Think about who Jacksonville's GM is.
Yep.
We know him well. Tom Coughlin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Tom Coughlin is a lot like Dave Gettleman in the sense that, I don't think Tom is interested in the quote-unquote full rebuild in Jacksonville. Much like, whether you agree with it or not, I'm just stating a fact at the moment. I don't think Gettleman is fully interested in the complete and total rebuild process. Meaning that
It's obvious by his moves.
if you look at Coughlin, right? Coughlin's looking at this team, right? He's still looking at a team that made the AFC Championship the year before last, and he's probably thinking, do I punt on the quarterback we already invested in? Probably so. But do I replace him with another investment that I'm not going to be able to see the fruits of? If Tom Coughlin invests in a rookie quarterback, it's going to take 2 to 3 years for Jacksonville
to get him up and running.
to get him up to the point where he could play and compete for a championship. So is Tom Coughlin really going to invest in that? I don't think so. Now, that speaks to a larger problem the Giants have too. That's kind of what you get when you hire an old GM. Like a guy that is not going to be around in 5 to 7 years.
They don't have the long term.
Right. They don't have the long term. They want it now.
Yeah. All right. Ready for the order? I got it.
Well, let me make a point. Can I make a point real quick on that?
Yeah, sure.
Make a point real quick on that. Because a good GM shouldn't give a shit.
Yeah,
I'll point to Ernie Accorsi, who could have very easily have stood status quo with a quarterback that got them to the Super Bowl, a veteran quarterback, and used that pick for something else to make the team better. And he knew he wasn't going to be around to see Eli Manning play, but he knew it was the best thing for the New York Giants at that moment in time. So if you believe in the quarterback, you go get the quarterback. Because that's what. Let me tell you something. I think to a point you're correct, Justin. Like I think if Jacksonville had their choice of the matter, they would bring in Foles. I think Foles would be their guy, but they're not in control of that situation until the Eagles do something here, and he's either a free agent or they're in position to make a move for him. And then do you want to pay that price? So you may be in position to where you're looking at the field of quarterbacks and you're looking at it and going, okay, what am I better off doing here? Like, who's the free agent quarterback that I'm bringing in to win? Like, am I better off getting a quarterback that's young, that maybe can surprise me, and in year 2, after a full year of developing with this team around him, if I make some more good moves, be ready to compete seriously? Like, is that better than the free agent quarterback if it's not the Foles that's going to just be a roll of the dice?
Refresh my memory. How did the Accorsi era end? He retired, or I don't remember.
Yeah, Accorsi retired.
Accorsi retired. Then the next year, Jerry Reese took over and took him to the Super Bowl. Correct?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. But Accorsi knew when he drafted him that he wasn't going to be around for Eli to finish his career. Like that was a team that year. Like there was a big to do and this speaks to how history repeats itself, right? Like look at the way the Duke handled it. Like Accorsi went to him and was like, "Man, I know you love Collins, but this is the right move." And the Duke signed off on it, even though he ripped his heart out to do so.
It broke his heart.
It broke his heart to do so.
Listen,
but he did it.
2007 was Jerry Reese's first year. So, Accorsi built the majority of that team. Jerry Reese had a stellar first draft, right? Remember, that in that draft, there was Justin Tuck, there was David Deal,
Aaron Ross,
it was, I believe, Matthias Kiwanuka was the first round pick. there was, or maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe Matthias
Aaron Ross.
Year after. There was Ahmad Bradshaw.
Mm-hmm.
There was Kevin Boss. So, there was a lot of rookies taken that contributed. Steve Smith. There was a lot of rookies that were taken that contributed down that playoff run. But, the mega pieces were constructed by Accorsi.
Accorsi, yeah.
Reese just kind of, came in and
put some icing on the cake.
The final dot there, and we're off and running.
Well, the only free agent signing that 2007 season, wasn't it? Oh my God, what was the linebacker's name? Kavika Mitchell.
Kavika Mitchell, who had a great year.
Great year.
Played outside his mind, but that was it.
All right, so the draft order is, and we'll see if they need a quarterback or if they don't. Ready? Arizona, probably not, correct?
Yeah, no.
San Francisco, probably not, correct?
Correct.
New York Jets, probably not, correct?
Correct.
But
Oakland Raiders, iffy?
No. Carr's money became guaranteed.
Oh, that's
today.
right, today. So most likely they are not. Tampa Bay.
They're not.
At number 5, Tampa Bay. That's questionable.
Here's why I don't believe Tampa Bay. Okay? Again, you got to look at who Tampa Bay brought in as their head coach and what his history in the league is. Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians made a name for himself as a head coach when he was the interim head coach for the Indianapolis Colts, and he was throwing the ball around the yard with Andrew Luck. So, make no mistake about it, Arians wants to throw the ball deep. He wants to be fast and loose and maybe play a little bit of run and shoot. Again, I'm not saying Jameis Winston is a perfect quarterback by any means, but I feel like
he has arm talent.
He's a better fit for what Arians might be looking to do than some rookie.
Yeah, I don't think they're in play either.
Okay.
But that's why I think the draft for quarterbacks, you don't have to get to one.
So
like the teams that, like the way I look at the Dolphins,
right.
The Dolphins are picking 8.
The Dolphins are not picking 8.
No, they are to me, because if they want a quarterback, they're picking 8.
Right.
Because
I hear what you're saying.
The draft if you want a quarterback, the draft technically starts at 6. So you don't have to trade to 1. You can technically trade to 4. If you get in front of the Giants, you're pretty much the team that can get the quarterback if you want to, unless somebody trades up in front of you.
Right.
But all you have to do is get to 5 to be in play for that quarterback.
So 6 is the Giants. Like we know 7 is Jacksonville. They're in play. 8 is Detroit. Not in play. 9 is Buffalo.
Not in play.
Not in play. 10 is Denver. They're in play.
They're in play. Denver's in play.
So I think the two teams, if not including the Giants, would have to be Jacksonville and Denver.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say this. People aren't going to like to hear it. And it pains me because I'm kind of... Captain Negative is going to say that he agrees with this 100%. But the team that scares me, coupled with that thought, is the New York Jets.
Yeah, of course.
Because the New York Jets have their QB at 3, and unless they're in love with somebody to the level that Gettleman was in love with Saquon, they could flip that pick to anybody that they want and ensure that their crosstown rival doesn't get the quarterback that they need.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
I think that's a possibility. If they get a haul, you'd be stupid not to do it.
What I pray is that the talent in front of the quarterback position is so good at those defensive positions that I pray, because all of the teams that don't need quarterbacks, man, can they use a defensive player, right? Can they use a guy that can come in and you would figure the first 4 or 5 kids that are going to be off the board are going to have a chance to contribute and help a defense out right away, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, what's the package? What's being offered, right? I can see the Raiders being a team that trades back. I could see even Tampa Bay. Like, you can't see Tampa Bay moving back from 5 to 7. Like,
2 spots, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all you got to do is get in front of the Giants. Nobody else has taken a quarterback before him.
And now we go back to the Foles. How will Foles work into this situation? Denver, I think Denver is most likely going to draft a quarterback, right? Supposedly they like Locke. They like, they most likely like Haskins as well. Then the Jags might
There's always
Foles, but who knows what the Eagles play is.
I saw a mock draft the other day that had us taking Haskins and then Locke going right after Haskins to Jacksonville at 7. And you know what terrifies me? This is scary too. Is that somebody trades up in front of the Giants and take Haskins, and the Giants take Locke there.
Well, here's the other thing too to think about. You got to think about. Remember that if a team falls in love with a quarterback, there's precedent in multiple years of the draft where a team that maybe wasn't on a radar to even take a quarterback ended up taking a quarterback in the first round. And I'm going to say 2 names that we all know and love in terms of quarterback play in today's NFL. One is a few years ago, Patrick Mahomes, when Reese and McAdoo were shut down on taking Mahomes. The Chiefs moved up to 12 with the Pro Bowler Alex Smith already in place, and spent a premium draft pick after trading up on Patrick Mahomes. And it was a good move. The other situation was obviously with Aaron Rodgers. Now, he fell a little bit because
he's Aaron Rodgers.
The draft was so thin. There was only 2 good quarterbacks with first-round grades, and everybody else was at other positions. But, I mean, when the Packers took Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre was in place. And they took him at 24 because they saw value in getting the stud replacement. And they took him 2 or 3 years before anybody else would have even thought about it. So, you got to start thinking about who are those teams that might want to get out in front of it, right? So, obviously, we've talked about the Dolphins with Tannehill. I think the other team that's a prime candidate,
Detroit,
to maybe take a quarterback is the Cincinnati Bengals.
I could see them.
They have a new coach coming in, and they have a serviceable Andy Dalton, right? But that's all Andy Dalton's been. So if the new coach is running a new system and maybe, he kind of believes in Andy, but wants to definitely take his guy and get his stamp on the team, maybe they see value in moving up and taking a quarterback. So, certain things are going to happen here that over the next few months that are going to really sort of take shape and have an impact on the way that this draft works. I just hope that our guy knows how to play a little bit of poker.
I hope so too. All right, gentlemen, let's call it here. And we'll catch everyone next week. Should probably have a full show then too. Do you want to end on any certain note, any certain topic, anything along that line, or we'll just call it a night?
Yeah, I'm tired. Call it a night. It's the off season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
Still got to catch up on some sleep.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
All right, everyone.
Bleedbigblue. Always.
Talk to you tomorrow. We will talk to you later on in the week. And thank you for the subscription that just came in. God Saquon, I saw that. And peace out.